Hey no one, Spazzy Dragon here, Gay Syndromes, and yes, part 6, finally we're about to play the freaking game. Yes, so people launch Dwarf Fortress for the first time and they have to go through all of this bullshit. Yes, that is why people don't like Dwarf Fortress. It's a highly complicated game, and actually I'm going to show you this. This is where we put our Dwarf Fortress installation, right? So if we actually look at the properties, you can see that this thing weighs 308 megabytes. Remember that there are almost no visuals in the game. That's 300 megs of content and game mechanics and stuff, right? You can see this is just to show you how complicated this is. Okay, we can finally start our game, guys. We've prepared for embark. We have our dwarf selected. We have our stuff selected. It's finally time for us to go out there and start playing, guys. So we're just going to press E for embark. And the game is going to load up. I didn't have the thing selected. There we go. You have arrived! After a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond, your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all of... So this is the name of our civilization. There are almost no supplies left, apart from the ones we took, but with stout labor comes sustenance. Whether by bolt, plow, or hook, provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it's spring now. Enough time for delve, secure loggings, ere the dingoes get hungry. A new chapter of dwarven history begins here, this place. Riras Moons, this is the name of our place. Greater Crypts, so that is the name of our fortress. So the game actually randomly generates the name. Strike the earth. Yes. Welcome to Dwarf Fortress, guys. Right, so first things first. This is a top-down game. You're looking at all of the things top-down. The little icons over here are our dwarves. And these are our little doggies. That's our caravan. That's the 2 mules we use to actually pull the thing. These are trees, for example. That's the grass. Those are little shrubs. It's a 2D game. Played in 3D, though. So, one thing you really need to figure out is that even though it shows the dwarf standing like this to the side, this is a top-down game. So we're looking from above. We're looking down at the dwarves. So that's something kind of confusing at first, but you know, hopefully that's not going to be a problem. So the interface. This is what I mean when people start playing the game and they look at this and it's like, what the hell is this? That's how you're going to interact with your dwarfs all over the game. So the interaction with all of this itself is very simple. We're going to use the cursor keys to take a look around of our map, as you can see. This is actually where the sea starts, as you can see, and we ourselves are on some sort of green kind of land. So these are trees. And first things first, guys, this game is 3D, actually. It means that, yes, we're looking at the game itself in a 2D environment, but the game itself is in 3D. So how can I explain this? So, for example, the trees. This is a tree stump, right? But no, it's a tree. It's just that this is the level that we see right now. If I press Shift, and I press greater up, like over here, it means that I'm moving up a little bit like this. This is the next level. So I'm moving the camera up right now, right? So for example, we can see just how big these trees are. We're moving the camera up and up and up and up and up and up, up. See? Those are pretty big trees. If you want to lower the camera down, you can do the same thing over here. And the same thing over here. So when we're going to be digging down, we can move down. There's nothing to be seen. This is freaking underground right now. Let's go back. So, first things first, guys. Oh, where do I even begin? This is the designation list. You can see all of the commands over here. You can press A to view announcements, which we currently don't have right now because there's nothing happening right now. The game currently is paused, as you can see over here. You need to press space bar to unpause the game. We're not going to do that right now though. B is for building stuff. R is for reports. I'm going to touch up every single of these as things go on. But first things first, we have finally arrived to our embark site, and we need to start preparing for stuff. As you can see right now, we're out in the open. It's dangerous here. There's wildlife, there's climate, there's rain, there's snow, you know, all sorts of nasty things. And our dwarves are simulated. The game takes every individual dwarf and simulates everything about them. Their mood, their preferences for stuff, what they work with, how they work with, what they want, how they want to sleep. Maybe they want to drink, maybe they want to eat, maybe they want to sleep, maybe they want to slack off for a little bit. But all what we need to do now is figure out what the hell the game is about. I would say survival. We need to survive, guys. So we are going to start off by giving our dwarves a place to spend the night in. So first things first, we are going to have our miners to dig out a underground dwelling. But at the same time, before we do that, we need to tell our carpenter guy, which is also our woodcutter, to chop down our first trees, which we can then use to build stuff with. So how to do this is simple. To chop down trees, you need to designate them. Designate them for chopping. So you press D. And then it's going to open a completely new window over here. Well, not a window, but you know, a selected list. You can designate stuff to mine, to make into stairs, to chop down trees, to gather plants, to smooth stone, to engrave stone, to carve fortifications, to carve a track, to toggle and remove constructions, and basically all of this is for designations. You can designate a lot of things. So we want to tell the guy to chop trees. So in this case, we already have it selected. So for example, if we were doing some mining and we would have it selected to D to mine, if we wanted to say, hey, I want to chop down trees, we would press D and open up this menu and press T to chop down trees. Now, how this is done is that this is your cursor over here. You don't actually play the game with a mouse. You still use the keys over here. And these are the trees, these round things. As we already saw, these are the trees. So we want to designate them for chopping. We are going to go over this tree, and we are going to press enter once. So this is going to start the designation. If I move away right now, it's going to show me where the designation starts. Now, there's two ways to do this. If I want to cut down a single tree, I can just press enter again, and if you move that cursor away, it's going to show that, oh, that thing is designated for chopping. So, if I want to, say, chop down all of these trees, I do not have to go all the way. Okay, I'm going to start using my keyboard. I don't need to go all the way over here and designate this, right? I don't need to do that. What I do is I just place my cursor over here somewhere, select enter, make sure that we still have the chop down tree selected, and we're going to move the cursor up over here and to the side, and it makes a selection. So we're currently selecting all of the trees inside of a rectangle, right? And now we press enter. Boom! And now it selects all the trees for chopping. And in order to show you how exactly it happens, first of all, we need to make sure that we are out of this menu. We're pressing escape, and then we're going to unpause the game by pressing the spacebar. So first thing what happens is that our dwarf takes the battle axe that we provided and starts chopping down trees. And as you can see, every single tree yields a lot of blocks of wood. So that's our cat running around, that's our dog moving around, that's the rest of our dwarves running around, and this is our guy chopping down trees. Let's pause the game with space. He's going to go for this one. It shows you which one is currently being chopped by this little blinking thing. So that's how you know that something's being done. Okay, so we are going to do the Minecraft thing and just dig straight down into the freaking ground. In order to do so, again, we are going to designate. We're going to press D. But this time we're going to select mining. We're going to press D again. If there was a hillside next to me right here, I could just tunnel straight into the hill from the side. This doesn't work here. We actually are on flat ground, so there's nothing to dig into. So, in short, we need to dig down. Now, how to do this? We're going to down staircase. We're going to make a down staircase. So, how to do this? We are going to select J. Press enter once. And it works just like the other function, just like the tree function. If I select enter now, it's going to build one staircase. If I make it a little bit bigger, it is going to make multiple staircases. The more staircases you have going, the easier it is for dwarfs to move around, because if dwarfs move somewhere and occupy the same tile, they're going to slow down a little bit. So we're going to actually make a 2x2 staircase downwards. And now these dwarfs are actually going to do that. Boom! There we go. So that's it. We can go underground, right? Well, no. As you can see, we only simply we exposed this, that, hey, there's there's earth down there on the, on one level below us. And this is where things become a little bit tricky, guys. I will actually need to open Paint to show you this. Let's talk about the 3D aspect of the game. I already told you that the game itself is actually ran into 3D. Let's just make this a little bit like this. The game is ran into 3D, and we can switch between levels of gameplay, right? As I already showed you, I'm going to show you right now. Sorry. Like, I can move up, and I can move down, like this, right? Every single click, every single shift up and the shift down that I make is called a level. Now, how this works is a little bit tricky. So, for example, you really will need to pardon my paint skills for now, but this is the only way I can actually show you this. Alright, so this is the ground. We're looking at it sideways though right now. So, for example, so this is where our dwarves are. This is a dwarf. Yes, it's a dwarf! This is where our trees are. And here's the thing. So that's the level. That's the level where we are at. This is the level that we currently see. There's the grass, the shrubs. And then we have a level above us. Now, the reason we see the trees as a trunk is because the tree, as you can see, actually keeps on going upwards out of our sight. I know the tree is not red, but bear with me. So this is the first level. This is the second level, and over there is the third and the fourth, and over there. So here is the -1 level. That's the underground. And there's, multiple layers of multiple underground levels. Like this, right? Now here's the thing. What we just did is we tunneled a staircase down. But that's not that simple. The reason why we just couldn't dig a hole into the ground like this is because every single level has two parts. Like, this is a level, right? Let's quickly make this. Let's quickly make this like this. I'm going to show you. A level consists of open space, where the dwarf is, and the ground, the little layer of ground. Sorry, I'm going to make this a little bit thicker, so we can understand how exactly this works. Ooh, that's a little bit too thick.
That's what she said.
So yeah. And this, all of this, including this little part here, is a level. Level. No, that's an E. That's an E. So what happened that I said to designate a down staircase, right? So what happened is that we removed this part of the first level. So the down staircase is actually in the same level that we are. So what happened is that we removed it, and we built a staircase downwards, and this is where it stopped. We only see that, oh yeah, there's ground over here. Yeah, yep, there's ground over here. So what happens now is we're gonna go back to the game. Where's my onboard? There we go. So that's what happens. This is the first level. This is where we are. And we just tunneled down and removed the very ground that we're sitting on. After that, we're going to go downwards. So we're going to shift and go down. And this is where we're going to designate ourselves up staircases. So up staircases are with you. And we are going to make sure to select this to be turned into up staircases. And now we're going to exit this. It's going to remain here, and we're going to run the game again. And now we have dug ourselves into the next one. So what happened right now is very simple. We designated, we're watching this layer over here, the first one. And what happened is that we designated this part of it to be dug out. So obviously this layer over here is just like every other layer, just like this one. It also has a ground that we don't see right now. Let's make it like this. Now this again is a level. This is the second level. This is what we're switching between when we're actually using the, arrow key, not the arrow keys, but the, shift, whatever the fuck it is called. So what happened right now when we said, hey, build me an upward staircase, is that the dwarves have access to this thing because we dug out the floor. It's kind of confusing. Yes, I know. Bear with me. And when we said make me staircases, they did exactly that. They made staircases all over here into this level. Now they have access to this level. Now I'm going to apply a little bit color. A little bit of color in my life. Just crop this. Alright, so hopefully this is going to help you understand what's going on. So this is the sky, except for here. This is the ground. Right? So what happened is that we removed this part over here. The reason why I'm repeating this a lot, if you get it, good. Some people might not get it. So what happened is that we removed this part first, and then we moved this part. So we have a block now. Now, we will need to designate block by block that you need to... Every tile is a block like this. The game world is made into blocks. We've removed this little block over here, and then we remove this little block now with the upward staircase. And now we can start tunneling into the thing. Like, we can start tunneling into here, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So, we're going to go back. Let me just bring up my... I hate it when it brings up the old thing as well. Okay, and now we are going to designate digging. So, to make things a little bit, accessible for you guys. So, mining is to remove blocks horizontally. Yes, that's not how you spell horizontally, but bear with me. If you want to dig horizontally, in the same level, you need to use mining. If you want to switch between levels, then you need to use staircases. Right? So, we currently have that done. Now we switch to mining, and we can start making a room. So, this is where the wall starts. This is what we currently have. This is where the wall starts. And let's just make a small corridor over here, and this is what the dwarf is going to dig out. The game is currently paused. Let's unpause it. The more this guy will level up as a miner, the faster he can do this. Okay, stop. Now we're going to make a room. So it's going to be, again, we're going to designate mining. But this time, we are going to select a rectangle and give ourselves a reasonably big room like this. Press it. It's going to show which tiles are designated for digging, and we're going to unpause the game again. One of the cats is trailing along. So there we go, guys. And boom, the room is done. Okay, and let's say I want to make another room over here underneath it. So, okay, what we did right now is that, hey, we dug out, like, this stuff over here. Now it's dug out, right? This is where our dwarves can now be. So this is where our dwarves can now be with a pickaxe, lol. So this is what happened, right? Let's say I want another room, but I don't want it over here. I want it on a different level. So I want a room that is below me. So let's quickly... Oh. So this is going to be the next level. So again, just like here, first of all, we will need to remove the little bit of floor that divides the level by saying that, hey, guys, I want to designate a downwards staircase with a J, and I want the staircase to be, well, let's say in the middle. Fuck it. And I want it to be like 2 staircases like this. And we're going to unpause it. Let these guys make them. Pause the game again. Then we're going to move 1 level downwards again. And say that, hey, I want those up staircases to be here. And again, select these places to be designated. Let the game run. And they just made them. And finally, this is going to be a bigger room. This is where we're going to place our stuffs. So let's make a bigger room, even bigger. Boom. Now, if you're looking at this like, oh, maybe it's crooked. See, there's more tiles over here than here. You can remove designation, and that goes for anything. Anything that you can plan here, you can actually set to remove. So we're going to press X, and it acts just like designating something else. So I press Enter, and I select which part of these things I do not want to mine. So again, staircases, dig up and down. X to remove designation. And okay, let's simulate the game a little bit more. Let's have our dwarves dig this place out again. Now, obviously, if we had more miners, this would be a lot faster. And there we go. Now we have 2 rooms. We can switch between them by doing this. And, yeah. So there you go, guys. This was the first episode of the actual gameplay. We set our dwarves out. See, it's actually raining right now, and these guys are getting soaked. So in the next episode, we're actually going to tell them that, hey, you don't have to stand outside now. There's rooms down there. You might as well go there. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.